What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to put in some more work on the silver sedan in hopes of buttoning it up. If you guys haven't seen the last video, we entirely put this car back together after it sat for a little over half a year. I'm stoked to have it finally up and going again. Yesterday I came out here to adjust the clutch pedal for the twin disc and also re-bled the entire brake system, and now we have stopping power. But before we actually dive into the silver sedan today, I need to take the van to do emissions and also take some parts to the storage unit that we're no longer needing, like the spare K all-wheel drive transmission, the alternators, the axles, all the stuff we don't need here in the garage anymore, just to make some space. What the hell? Ooh, my heart rate. Oh my god. Damn, can't believe that happened. Sheesh, almost ran into that one. But anyways, just clearing up a bunch of stuff that we don't need here in the garage anymore, just to make some space. And I don't know, see, the difference between daddy long legs, like, they're harmless, you know what I'm saying? So you guys get passes out here. Here you go, you guys, you can take off. Okay, anyways, we're cleaning up a lot of space right here, guys, and hopefully when we make more space, I could probably do a bike build. This week has been super hot, so I'm taking one of my fans with me. So you guys have seen the video where I was talking about the struggle with YouTube, right? And I haven't even noticed that the last couple of videos I've uploaded has been in the 25 to like 40-minute range. And I know a lot of you guys enjoyed the Max Pitting Rod LSD installation video. That was like a whole movie, but like, I pay attention to the analytics in a sense, and it says a lot of people are clicking off the video at about 13 to 15-minute mark, right? And you know, sometimes I think about it as well too. I'm like, I don't want to sit through a long video, especially like if your lunch break is 30 minutes, or you know, you're not trying to sit on the toilet for an hour. And I dropped a video that's like 13 minutes, you know, cut to the chase, straight to work, and it's been rolling, and I've been paying attention to the analytics. Now it's telling me people are clicking off at 7 minutes. You can't win. You can't please everybody. It's crazy. I'm trying to use the analytics to help me with the channel, and when I try to follow it, it just gets worse. It gets worse. But I feel like a lot of times too, if I don't talk or explain, which is what the channel has always been about, is to teach, to inspire, to motivate you guys. If I don't talk in the video, I'm gonna get a handful of people who complain like, oh, you're just like every other YouTubers who don't show the installation or why you need to do X and X, or you know, a little information here and there. You just go install the part and just move on to the next thing. I really don't want to fall in the category of all these other YouTubers, which is why I talk a lot, and I still do get a handful of people who talk shit about, oh, you fucking talk too much. You can't win, you can't please everybody. I'm gonna try to stick to the way I've been making my videos, man, but these last couple of months, these videos, they've been killing me. So I brought this black shelf from my storage unit because I didn't really have much stuff on it anyways, and I want to use this to replace the red one. The red one doesn't have much left on it other than a bunch of small stuff for the blue car. So like the radiator, the turbo manifold, all the T-bar and charge pipes and such should fit on here, and I'm probably gonna put this in the corner to clear up a lot of space. If you guys don't remember, I broke the wheel off of this. If I can repair it, cool. If I can't, I'm still gonna fold it up and put it away somewhere just to kind of get it out of here, just so I have access to everything else. But I'm gonna do this a little bit later today when the weather cools down. So the silver sedan, realistically, it's done for the most part. Only the injectors we're gonna put on when we get to the dyno. And today I'm gonna do, what was it? Oh, today I want to do the catch can, because the last thing on the shelf, which is right here. And what comes with the catch can is pretty much a bung valve cover, because this one's factory. And if you guys remember, we painted that hot pink one from Tropical Glitz. I think it's gonna look really good in this engine bay. Everything about the bay is all silver, and I think this valve cover is gonna pop it off. Gotta get some fresh hardware for the catch can, because the ones that I was using before are some rusted ones. What better way to blend the bolts into the engine bay than to run silver on silver? These OEM orange dipsticks are pretty hideous, depending on like the color of your valve cover. And I've actually painted one of these black for the wagon a while ago, and it came out pretty decent. So I'm gonna do the same, just cause I don't know, orange and the hot pink don't really flow, and this is like a sore eye. Adhesive promoter or anything plastic if you want the paint to stick, and granted the oil dipstick is plastic, I'm hoping that it'll stick for a little while. I mean, you're only really going to touch this when you're changing oil. So I've already sanded this down ish, cleaned it, and throw some adhesive promoter and then some black paint. Semi-gloss black. This is a 2-to-1 paint and primer. Two coats. This thing's gonna look real good when it's all nice and dried. My feed line for the turbo is a little bit long, and typically I run them through the valve cover underneath a coil pack plate. I'm not sure if I want to run the coil pack plate because it's going to like imprint into the paint, since this is rattle can and not powder coated. It's a little too long to run on the outside, and I don't want this to be too close to the manifold. So I am gonna run it inside, but the stainless steel might scratch up the paint. I'm just gonna go ahead and tape up the feed line with some Testa tape just to prevent some paint scratches. Pull it nice and tight. Not gonna lie to you guys, man, on camera doesn't do the valve cover justice. It looks so freaking good. Ugh. Tropical Glitz Cosmic Pink. And the dipstick came out freaking clean too. I mean, a little more fresher than like the rest of the black, but I mean, hey, it's not orange, so that's all that matters. This thing is looking groovy. I think the last thing we need to do, or want to do, or actually I originally debated to leave the bumper off until the dyno is done, just in case we need to mess with the battery, the wiring, or whatever the case may be, more airflow, I don't know. But I just want to put the bumper on just so that it's not sitting right here on the floor. And also, I'm not driving around without the bumper, right? So you got to configure a car how you're going to drive it. So if the car is going to go on a dyno and I'm going to drive it with the bumper on, I'm going to tune it with the bumper, because, you know, we get all the airflow on the dyno, everything seems to be Gucci, and then I throw the bumper on and it like blocks airflow, we might have an issue. Although we've been on the dyno, this car has no issues with airflow or coolant temps or anything, because the Sirocco and Spall fan combo A1. I'm just gonna throw the bumper on, may as well. The only thing left in the box right here is old valve cover grommets, dowel pins, which we already had on the engine itself, the other oil cap for the old valve cover. This right here is the old release bearing from the old clutch that was in the car. Probably spare from, you know, from the other engine to this engine, just a bunch of extra hoses. And I actually lost a bolt for the transmission, and then I got one out of my bin, but I found it. So these are just extra to that. These are bumper screws, and you guys saw we swapped out some new hardware for the catch can. So these are the old ones right here, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. This right here originally was for the transmission, because the other transmission had a stud, and now it has all 3 bolts and not a stud, so we're not using that. But anyways, yeah, so I'm just gonna throw the bumper on the car. The easiest way to take off spider webs, brake clean and a torch. Guys, that is so stealth. That is so stealth. When I get that front plate on, you're not even gonna know. Also in this corner, this bumper had been bumped in before, and it's kind of squished. It just reminded me that I have another bumper for this car that I bought from the junkyard a little while ago. It's that one right there, pewter gray metallic, and it's a very clean bumper. So I think eventually I'll swap it. Right now, I'm not too worried about it. There's one more thing I want to do with this car before I take it to the dyno, which is swap out the fuel line for -6 right here, from the tank all the way to the front. The filter comes in tomorrow, because this little filter is leaking a little bit of fuel from the O-ring, and I don't know the correct O-ring size to find to change it out. But I bought a bigger fuel filter, and I'm not entirely sure, but I might put this car on E85. I'm not sure, but I at least want to set up for E85 if I decide to. So one more thing I want to do is change the line and the fuel filter, and then this thing is ready to go, aside from injectors, which will change out at the dyno. But as far as today goes, we're done working on this car. Nothing to look at here, guys. Just an old Honda from 1988, stock D15, great MPGs. I swear to you guys, there's not a K20 turbo all-wheel drive setup in this car at all. Just plain. It's still front-wheel drive. But the last thing we need for this car, realistically, after the car gets off the dyno, is just a Vitsys coupler and a drive shaft, front and rear. And that's like the last thing to do, icing on the cake to the all-wheel drive system to make it official. But aside from that, though, I can't wait to start working on the bodywork and paint on this car, because there's not that much dent other than that rust that's underneath my driver's side door handle, right? Because I kind of already did bodywork on the major parts of the fender, but we have that we need to fix some way, somehow. I've already did most of the dents on the fender, the door on the passenger side right here, and then the rest of the car has a bunch of like little dime dinks. But can't wait to start doing the bodywork and paint on this car. If you guys don't know, this car is an 88 blade silver, and my KRX is also an 88 blade silver. So when I buy paint, I'm gonna buy paint enough for both cars to do base coat and clear coat. I think, I'm not sure, but I think the KRX might get painted first, because that's the car that I'm taking to H-Day, which is October 10th and 11th. And the reason why I say the KRX might get painted first, although I've been saying it for 6 years now, is because the windshield has been cracked since the day I bought that car, and it's very scratched up. Like it's hard to see out of the windshield, not gonna lie to you guys. The track is very strict about having cracked windshields, and it only makes sense to me to do the bodywork underneath the channel of the window because it's rusted, which is why I haven't gotten to it. It's really dreading to try to fix it. I need to fix the rust underneath the channel before putting a new windshield on. And if I'm doing the repair, I may as well paint the car while the windshield's off, just so we can get underneath all the moldings. Then the new glass can go on. The CRX is small, should be quick and easy. The car had already been painted by somebody else years before, so there's not a lot of dents on the car per se, but definitely a few, you know, bodyworks to fix on the car. But anyways, what I'm going to do the rest of my night here is I'm going to organize this section of my garage with all the engines and transmissions and all that. The goal is to, like I mentioned earlier in the video, is to shift the engines around, remove the red rack, and transfer everything that belongs to the blue car on the black rack somewhere in that corner. So I'm gonna throw you guys up on the laps on the tripod, and I'm just gonna get right to work. It's 9:30, the bugs are out, and it's kind of irritating. Let's get to it.